Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Plate. We're here, glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Anthony Ranaudo, Hour 3. Devin Fontenot, 90 minutes from right now. We'll talk Pels with Jake Madison next hour as well. Pels season came to an end over the weekend with a loss to the Lakers. We'll get into all of that here shortly. Let's begin, though, with a little LSU baseball as the Tigers hosted Alabama this weekend. And if you remember, a month ago, after LSU lost the South Carolina series, and if you remember in context, at that point, they were trying to dig themselves out of a 1-8 hole. They'd finally scored a series win over Kentucky. They're playing South Carolina at home, and looked like they were going to get it done. They had to play a pair of 7-inning doubleheaders on Saturday. A pair of 7-inning doubleheader. A pair of 7-inning games. Shut up, Musso. On Saturday, and they blew a 7th-inning lead and then got trounced in the second game of the doubleheader. And at that point, they were 4-11 in conference play. And after that game, when we talked about it and we did the recap, I said this team is going to have to do something statistically improbable if they want to make a regional. Considering you're looking ahead at a road trip to Ole Miss, a home series against Arkansas, and then the stretch. Well, after this weekend, LSU is one series win away from doing the statistically improbable thing we talked about a month ago. And they deserve a tremendous amount of credit for what they've been able to do after starting 1-8 in the league, a month ago being right there at 4-11, and now putting themselves in a position with one weekend to play to go win a road series against a bad baseball team and punch a ticket to regionals. We will talk plenty about the tournament resume and all that. As I mentioned, Devin Fontenot is with us next hour, so we're going to get into a lot of that. Let's talk about this weekend, though. Friday night, game 1, Landon Marceau wasn't his best. He got into and out of a lot of trouble. It is kind of incredible that Alabama had one run on 13 hits. But time and again, LSU made plays. Mitchell Sanford hosed a guy at home from right field. Alex Milazzo threw a runner out at third base. Time and again, when Marceau needed the big pitch, he made it. And then Devin Fontenot finished the game with 2 2/3 innings of relief. And how about Drew Bianco? Drew Bianco, with what ended up being the game-winning double, he didn't get credit for an RBI because the run scored on an error, but he should have gotten a game-winning RBI, but the run scored on his double. Since the Ole Miss series, really in conference play this year, Drew Bianco is 12 of 43 in conference play, hitting .279. SEC games only. It's been a very pleasant surprise. The fact that a guy who was in the transfer portal in the offseason decided to return. We've talked about a lot, the problems he's had with strikeouts that landed him a spot on the bench early in the season. He basically got the opportunity to play against Ole Miss because, his history there, and Mainieri played a hunch and kind of gave him the opportunity. And all he's done is hit in every SEC game since. So that has been a major boost to the bottom of this order. One of the conversations we had a lot early in the year was this team had no production in the bottom third of the order. Well, they're getting it now. A.J. Labus still scuffling is a bit of a concern. He struggled again this past weekend in Game 2, which the Tigers lost 6-5. Labus just gave you 4 innings, and you need more out of him. If he's going to be your number 2. I think look, we've had the conversation a bunch. The extended outing against Ole Miss, he hasn't been right since. And certainly you had hoped for more from Labus this weekend after having a rough outing last week against some good Auburn bats. But Labus giving you only 4 innings, 5 runs, 8 hits, just 1 strikeout. That's just not good enough if this team's going to make a run. Tigers had their chance. Gavin Dugas hit the 2-run homer in the 9th inning. A lot of people talked, obviously, about Dylan Cruz's strikeout with a runner on second base when he had a 3-0 count and then basically took after that. Mainieri called timeout mid-at-bat to talk to him. I know there was a lot of discussion about that. But nonetheless, even after that really disappointing loss, Tigers came back. By the way, how about Javen Coleman? That's worth mentioning as well. Labus didn't have it. Coleman comes out of the bullpen and gives you 4 relief innings, 1-run ball, struck out 5. And I know, look, if you look back since the Ole Miss series, and in that Game 3 against Ole Miss, his line is that he gave up 6 runs. He pitched much better than that. I think we can all agree that when he went back out for the 8th, a little bad fortune early, and then Mainieri probably should have hooked him sooner than he did. Coleman pitched better than that. He's pitched very well since that series. Got a big strikeout last weekend in a relief situation against Auburn. And when you look at the bullpen and guys that it's pretty clear this staff trusts right now, this coaching staff trusts right now out of the bullpen, it's Devin Fontenot, it's Javen Coleman from the left side, it's Edwards, it's Floyd. If you need to get something out of Blake Money, you can. If you want to go to some of your veteran arms like a Trent Vettmeyer, if you need to just eat up some outs, you can. But we've heard Doug Thompson, who's come on forever, has always said whenever he pitched for Skip would always want 5 arms out of the bullpen that he knew he could count on. I'd say if you're Paul Mainieri right now, Fontenot, Coleman, Edwards, Floyd, those are the 4 he's leaning on. Maybe you could throw Blake Money in there as a 5th, maybe Will Helmers, but whatever it may be, you're starting to, at this point in the season, see very clearly defined whose roles are what. And then obviously, Mikhail Hilliard, solid again. Gave you 5 innings, and if you get 5 innings out of your Sunday starter, you're going to be able to win a lot of games. Because, as you just see throughout the course of these weekends, not everybody has a Sunday starter. Look, Arkansas didn't have a Sunday starter. So, you look at this and you say, if I can get 5 innings of 3-run baseball, Mikhail Hilliard, 5 of the first 6 outs were strikeouts. And then he ran into a little bump in the 3rd, gave up the homer in the 4th. But the homer he gave up in the 4th is indicative of where problems with Mikhail Hilliard can come into play, right? It was a 3-1 count. He's coming fastball. He threw a letter-high fastball at 84 miles an hour. And it got crushed because that's what college hitters do. They crush letter-high 84-mile-an-hour fastballs when they know it's coming. That's the problem if Mikhail's not locating his breaking pitch. But when he does, he's looked really sharp. Mikhail's 5-0 on the season, and he has been really good, and you have solidified your number 3 starter. It is Mikhail Hilliard, and you're going to roll that way for however long this season's going to take you. So for the Tigers right now, and how about Edwards and Floyd? As we mentioned, backing up with 2 innings of relief each to get you to the finish line. And it's pretty obvious that at this point, Mainieri and Alan Dunn have put forth their roadmap. If Landon Marceau can get you through 7, they're going to give it to Devin Fontenot for a 2-inning save. You want A.J. Labus to get you as deep as you can into that ball game, and he's going to follow it up in some combination like he did over the next 2 games. And if Mikhail can get you through, he's going to try to finish it up and piece it together as he did with Edwards or Floyd or whoever's left. So that blueprint is there for LSU right now. They've won more than they've lost since that South Carolina series, and that's put them in a position right now to make a push for regional play. And I'm going to say this again, and I've said it already. I'm going to say it again. But getting into a regional is not the standard for this program. I understand that. I'm not saying that's okay. But you've got to look at this season in a vacuum. You've got to look at, if we're just looking at this team, the 2021 LSU Tigers, which your three best players are freshmen, where you lost the guy who you thought was going to be a top 10 pick and your Friday night guy, and you started 1-8 in the league, and you have dug yourself out of that hole to get to this point with one weekend to play to punch your ticket into regionals. That is super admirable and very encouraging that maybe this team, depending on their draw, could get on a little bit of a postseason run, but even more so for the future and how this roster is being built and built for the future as this team grows up together. So a lot to like. Congrats to the Tigers, taking 2 out of 3 from Alabama this weekend. Go on the road into College Station this weekend against a bad Texas A&M team. Win 2 games, and you're in regionals. We'll talk more about the resume coming up a little bit later. And Devin Fontenot is with us about an hour and 15 minutes from right now, one of the seniors honored out at the box on Sunday. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. So, final SEC game at the box on Sunday for those seniors. It was also the final game of the Pelicans season yesterday as the Pels lose to the Lakers, putting a punctuation on the end of year 2 of Zion. David Griffin, Stan Van Gundy, several players all met with the media today, sort of in their exit interviews, a little bit of what they had to say and kind of a season recap on the Pels. We'll get to all that. Glad you're here on AFR.
AFR.
If you're thinking about selling your home, let me rephrase that. If you have ever thought about selling your home, this is the time. The real estate market is absolutely on fire, and some people may even say, but Matt, if I sell my home, then I'm going to have to overpay for my next home. Not exactly. Remember, because interest rates are so low, you can afford more home, and it'll cost you less over the life of your mortgage. That's why you got to call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Call the realtor that sells more homes than anyone. Call the realtor that can get you more for your home than anyone. Call the realtor that has a network of buyers lined up to where you might even be able to sell your home off market without ever having to list it. You need to call Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person. Connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Lee Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We did not have players that, while they have incredible talent, we don't have the winning medal yet, and we know that to some degree. We know this is a process and it takes time, but we also have to take a look at ourselves, both front office, coaching, players. Is what we're doing working? Are we doing enough for the group to be accretive to winning? And that's really what our focus is going to be. The level of accountability we're going to hold everyone to is all about winning.
David Griffin, Pelicans Vice President of Basketball Operations. Pels season came to an end on Sunday. They had exit interviews today. So David Griffin, Stan Van Gundy, all the players met with the media today to recap the season, which ended, as we mentioned, yesterday evening, a 110-98 loss to the Lakers at the Smoothie King Center. The Lakers, of course, were playing for seeding in the play-in tournament, so had something very significant for which to play, and obviously played very hard and won the game. The Pelicans, as has been stated, without four of their top minutes players in this game, and really down the stretch, which means now, as you look to the offseason, the Pels will have the 8th best odds in this summer's draft lottery. So the Rockets, the Pistons, the Magic will all have a 14% chance at the first overall pick. The Cavs and OKC will have an 11.5% chance, followed by the Warriors at 9%. The Raptors at 7.5%, and then the Pels, Kings, and the Magic via the Bulls. It's the Bulls pick. All with a 4.5% chance at the number one overall pick. Now, as we've talked about a lot this year, the Pelicans blew 14 double-digit leads. It's incredible. I mean, it really speaks to this season. For example, hypothetically, if this team had won just half of those games, you blew 14 double-digit leads. Let's say you just managed to win half of those. You'd be 38-34, and you'd be either the 8 or the 9 seed. Pretty different reality if you just finished the games where you had a giant lead. Flip side of it is, you were tied with the Kings and the Bulls in the loss column. If you'd just blown one more game, your odds at the number one overall pick would have nearly doubled. So that's sort of the conundrum that you're in here. Obviously, you wanted them to win and finish games, but when it became abundantly clear how this was going to end, they needed to lose more and won just a little more than we needed them to. What they need this offseason is very, very obvious. David Griffin did talk about the fundamental issues that this team is going to address in this offseason.
There are 3 fundamental issues that this team needs to address moving forward, and that's going to happen on our level off the court, but it's going to be top to bottom organizationally, and it's going to be built into the player development programs as well. We've got to address our basketball IQ, our toughness, and our shooting. And I think those three things really revealed themselves in the fact that while we were talented enough to build double-digit leads, we also blew more double-digit leads than any team in the league. We had double-digit leads 14 times in games we didn't finish. We were 2-11 in games decided by 3 points or less. Those are things that you cannot do to be a winning basketball team. Again, there are reasons for that. We are a very young, developing team.
It's true. It's very true. They're young, they're developing. That's why you brought in several veteran leaderships you thought would help with stuff like that. You brought in Brett Bledsoe, you brought in Steven Adams. They have to do more. But the reality is, toughness, basketball IQ, all that will come. You need shooters. Like, that is the absolute, definitive, quantifiable weakness on this roster. The Pelicans finished the season 27th in the NBA in three-pointers made and 26th in three-point percentage. The best three-point shooting team in the NBA this year, the Utah Jazz. They're pretty good. It's what the league is. It's a league of shooters. It's what it's become. As much as Zion is incredible, as much as he is an outlier and he is dazzled, and it is amazing to watch him, and they will build around he and Brandon Ingram, and they should, you have got to have shooters. If Zion is, I'm not a savant, but if Zion's going to draw a ton of attention in the post, then you really need someone you can kick the ball out to and nail a three. I'm oversimplifying it, but that's what this team lacks. They thought maybe J.J. Redick would bring that. Didn't happen. They dealt him off. They just never had consistent shooting. So you have got to go address that. That is obvious. That is a very obvious need, and you heard David Griffin say it there. Now, it's also very obvious that they are going to continue building around their two cornerstones in Zion and Brandon Ingram.
We're going to build the nucleus to be what fits our two best players and what makes it possible for them to succeed at the highest levels. Because in our league, when your stars are playing well and your stars are surrounded by the right fit and the right pieces that are accretive to winning, that's when you really make an impact. And I think you've seen we've got several young rotational players who can be part of that, and we need to figure out exactly what everyone's role needs to be within it.
Stan Van Gundy also on coaching his two megastars, Zion and B.I.
I think they're both really, really coachable and want to get better, want to be taught, want to be coached. I don't think they got coached really hard this year because of the situation. And again, not making an excuse because all 30 teams were in the same situation. You just didn't have the practice time. And early in the year, I don't know if you guys remember, but you were even limited, like your meetings with individual players to sit down and watch film had to be under 15 minutes, total for the day. So, to say they got coached hard, they didn't. I think they will benefit from having a more normal season and being able to be coached more and better.
I don't want to make excuses, but I'm going to make some excuses. By the way, Paulie had, if you're watching, Paulie had up there a picture of Van Gundy. Can you pull that picture up again, Paulie? Can you go boxes on it if possible? That's fine. It's a very, like eighth grade student. Like, is it like? Wouldn't you say that would be like your maybe like the junior high English teacher's photo?
Yearbook photo.
The yearbook photo.
Totally yearbook.
That's kind of what that is. Pelicans polo with the top button, which is an aggressive move there.
I like the head tilt.
Little head tilt.
Little head tilt.
Mustache, smile, etc. They're interesting there. But in reality, the contrast is when Stan Van Gundy today actually gave that interview, it was very much Stan Van Gundy the morning after being at the Endymion parade all night. Is that fair?
That's pretty fair, yeah. Stan Van is now in just full-on casual Friday mode of the offseason just until maybe draft night.
Your boy was Pelicans sweatshirt. He has the mustache, of course, but the beard, you can tell, is unkempt.
Scruff.
And he's wearing a hat. A cap. I don't think I've ever seen Stan Van Gundy in a cap.
I mean, either.
Has he worn a snapback?
I haven't seen that.
It looks like the draft night cap.
It does look like the draft.
Isn't that what that is?
I mean,
it's and the thing is too, the bill looks a little worn, like it's a little dirty. You could tell he obviously wears this hat.
You think he just like wears it into work and then sheds it maybe for the day, and then when he's leaving work, puts it back on?
Or maybe that's when he's going around getting coffee around the French Quarter or whatever it may be. Maybe that's what he wears. Maybe he's trying to be a little incognito.
It also looks like he's just wearing a plain white tee underneath that sweatshirt.
Well, it's probably a logoed T-shirt if I had to guess.
Maybe.
It looks like a white undershirt, but my guess is they're going to make sure they keep him logoed up. Having been in the NBA for as long as he has, I'm sure, look, as aware of logos as Musa, look at the set. I am standing with my body cocked just so that the Relief Windows logo is in full view here, with both the Sazerac logo and my Monster Energy drink logo front facing. I mean, you don't ever notice how often I put this down and then turn it just to make sure it's front facing?
Actually, I've never noticed that. I've never noticed you turn the
because here's the thing:
when you put it down.
If I want the spout facing me, it doesn't always print on the same side, so I kind of have to turn it a little bit. Always be mindful to sponsor logos because they pay attention. But one other thing I want to talk about, and Jake Madison's going to be with us in about 45 minutes, and Devin Fontenot 1 hour from right now. But I did hear, and I've heard a lot of this, and the talking head today was Pat McAfee, and it's gotten some run, where he basically said Zion needs to fly. He needs to get out of New Orleans. And look, I don't want to sound like I'm criticizing someone else's opinion, whatever, but that is a lazy sports guy opinion. Just the way the contract structure exists in the NBA, Zion is going to get his max deal. He's going to be in New Orleans, and he's not going anywhere, just like AD didn't for 7 years. If the time comes near the end of that deal where Zion pulls an AD, fine. I mean, not fine, but that's a long ways off. But here's the other thing that I'll say. I don't know how you feel, and I'm not saying that this is a definitive fact. This is just my opinion, total opinion as a sports fan, how I feel about things. I don't respect Kevin Durant's championships in Golden State at all. None. He was drafted by OKC. They had a hell of a squad there. I mean, when you had Durant, Westbrook, Harden, you had 3 MVPs drafted by that organization. Had they stuck together, they could have won championships there and done something that had never been done there before. The reason most fans that don't like or appreciate, whatever adjective you want to use, LeBron James, is because it was hard in Cleveland, so he left where it was going to be easy. It's not to say he's not a spectacular generational talent. It's just hard to respect it as much as someone like Dirk, who built that organization on his back and got his one. It was one, but he got it in Dallas. He didn't have to go to Golden State to get it. He didn't have to go to Miami to join Wade and Bosh to get it. It feels very different. The reason that people generationally will revere Steph Curry is because before KD and everybody else wanted to jump on the bandwagon, Golden State drafted Steph and drafted Clay and drafted Draymond in the second round, and they built and supplemented with good veterans like Andre Iguodala, and I'll be damned if they didn't become the best team in basketball. It is possible. And you know what? The other thing, all those I just mentioned, Oklahoma City, Golden State, Cleveland, it's possible to do it in a smaller market like New Orleans. If you draft well enough, you build a winner, they will follow. If you have patient superstars who are willing to build around you. And I hope Zion is, because could he at some point in his career leave and go create a super team in LA or New York? Sure, yeah, he could do that. And it'll never be as respected as the guys that do it themselves, that build it, instead of, will always mean more for the guys who take the stairs than the guys who take the elevator. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We'll go around the SEC next. Stick around. Oh. So you want me to just keep going? Okay. Well, we can't go to break. Our operating system is down. So let me just tell you about Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com, PECbuilt.com. I'm going through this process with Pinnacle right now. Really exciting. I've told you before, I've always wanted an outdoor kitchen. And Eric and I have saved and planned for a long time. And, of course, Shane Danton at Pinnacle came around, and we went through this whole process with Pinnacle. It's been amazing to work with their landscape architects to get all of our plans drawn out, see what it would look like, item by item, some of their suggestions, taking our suggestions and helping them mold it into reality. If you want that custom pool, that outdoor kitchen, maybe you just need a fence or deck or a bulkhead. They do all of it. They can take your boring backyard and turn it into a show place. That's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. PECbuilt.com. PECbuilt.com for Pinnacle Exterior Construction. You'll see that Pinnacle green all over town. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Okay, Moose, I need you to tell me what to do. So you're back. So are we going to break?
Yep, going to break.
So we're going to have a minute short here. We'll figure that out.
GMFS?
I don't want to go back-to-back live reads, but I guess I sort of have to go back-to-back live reads now. So it's AFR.
AFR.
And as promised, I will now go back-to-back live reads. GMFS Mortgage, as Moose told you. GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. I'm very sorry. I hate to do that, but the software went down, and we literally couldn't go to break, and I was going to do a live read and then just continue. So anyway, I apologize for that. I'll probably make up a very good for GMFS later anyway, but I love GMFS. They've been awesome for us. We talk about changing your lives financially, and GMFS does that and has done that for hundreds of thousands of Louisiana residents in their 22 years in business. Erica and I are in that number, and I just cannot encourage you strongly enough. If you're a homeowner, please get in touch with a local loan officer at GMFS Mortgage offices all over the state. GMFSmortgage.com, GMFSmortgage.com. Find the loan officer near you. Go through the very easy process and see if you can change your life financially. GMFSmortgage.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
The 2021 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage. Sunday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. at Ben 77 in Perkins Row. Benefiting the Baton Rouge Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation. With live music, great food, and an amazing atmosphere. Raise money to support local law enforcement and first responders. Tickets are $100. Get yours at the door or smokembr.com. That's smokembr.com.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
It was a really rough week for Wontarius Bryant. You probably don't know the name, but you may by now have heard this story. He was the victim of a hoax. Wontarius Bryant was an all-conference defensive back at Austin Peay. He was actually first-team all-conference in the Ohio Valley in 2019. Well, he went undrafted, and teams this past weekend, of course, had rookie minicamp. So a lot of guys got workouts. If they didn't get signed immediately after the draft as an undrafted free agent, they had workouts at rookie minicamps, and some got contracts. Well, Wontarius Bryant went to Atlanta thinking he was invited to a workout for rookie minicamp with the Falcons. Turns out it was a hoax. Someone from a 404 area code texted him pretending to be Atlanta defensive coordinator Dean Pease. He wrote in a message that he posted on Twitter, in part, want to say thank you to everyone who has been in my corner, pursuing my lifelong dream of playing in the NFL. Apparently, the opportunity of attending rookie minicamp with the Atlanta Falcons was not a legit opportunity. Someone contacted me from a 404 area code number pretending to be Dean Pease, the DC for the Atlanta Falcons. I did not realize it was not a legit opportunity until I traveled to the facility for rookie minicamp. Check in on Wednesday, May 12th. It's most definitely one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to me, and a very humbling experience. Just want to apologize to everyone in the Atlanta Falcons organization for the mix-up. I honestly thought it was a legit opportunity on my end. He went on to say, don't know why it happened, just another stepping stone, etc. So, a couple of things. That's brutal. And I know everyone's going to make the Lene Kakua jokes. And I don't blame you. Because there is an element of it that's funny. There's also an element that's horribly cruel as well. I thought two things. Number one, how does his agent let this happen? I mean, it's in some respect, you could say, well, this is a young guy who's, say, 22 years old. Like, wouldn't you think common sense would say someone with the Falcons and scouting or organizationally is going to be in touch with you with details? You're going to have some type of confirmation, COVID, this or that, right? I mean, you're feeling like you're going to have something more official than just a text from a 404 area code. I don't know how his agent, though, doesn't make this happen, like doesn't coordinate everything for his client. That was the first thing that popped into my mind. The other is, Wontarius Bryant should have known that this was a hoax because he was invited to Atlanta to work out as a DB for the Falcons. And we know the Falcons don't have a secondary. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Missouri Tigers.
4-star defensive tackle Marquise Gracial. He's committed to Mizzou. Had some pretty big offers, man. Alabama, Arizona State, Iowa State, Oregon. But decided to stay in-state. He's from St. Charles, Missouri. 6th in-state commit for the Tigers in the 2022 class.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Carolina's 2022 recruiting class picked up a commit from 3-star safety Quan Banks. He's out of Tallahassee, Florida. The 47th best safety in the country for 2022. He chose South Carolina over Kentucky, Louisville, Nebraska, Ole Miss, and Tennessee.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama got a punter. Former Troy punter Jack Martin announced he's transferring from Troy to Alabama. Ooh, I hit the camera. His first team All-Sun Belt selection as a sophomore in 2020, 46.1 yards per punt. Martin becomes the 4th punter on Alabama's 2021 roster.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs.
And on the hardwood, former NC State transfer and freshman guard Shaquille Moore announced his intention to transfer to Mississippi State. Moore had Mississippi State, Creighton, and Western Kentucky among his 3 finalists. 6'1", 180. Moore averaged 6.8 points, 2.5 rebounds, and a team-best 1.4 steals a game. When he was coming out of high school, Moore was a 4-star and the nation's number 24 point guard. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Baton Rouge, New Orleans, North Shore, and Lafayette, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, and the New Orleans Pelicans. Did you like the punchline? Come on. Yeah.
No, I did.
Yeah, I liked it a little bit.
I liked it.
Paul, you liked it a little bit? Yeah. Montarius Bryant.
That was a good one.
Yep. Trying out for the Falcons secondary. Should have known it was a hoax. Falcons.
That's why they drafted a tight end with the 4th pick, right?
Got it. Bingo. And last year they used their 1st-round pick on a guy that Jamar Chase made look like he was playing Pee Wee football. Pop Warner.
That was good. That was good.
His highlights were basically A.J. Terrell just laying on the ground, staring at Jamar Chase, running into the end zone for touchdowns. Plural. Then again, he did that to a lot of people.
Yeah, but not all of them were drafted by the Falcons. Although if the Falcons could have drafted all of them, they probably would have.
That's true. Okay. 30 minutes from right now, Jake Madison, talk some Pels. Devin Fontenot in 45 minutes. Anthony Ranaudo in hour 3. The Saints did have a rookie minicamp this past weekend, and one very familiar name tried out, and the Saints signed him. I cannot wait to talk about this in about 15 minutes from right now. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001. Give River City's 1 Hour Air a call. Schedule your preseason AC tune-up. I had mine last week. Josh came out to the house whenever, scheduled for 9 o'clock. Phone rang at about 8:20. Mr. Moscona, we have a technician ready to come to your house. Is someone at the house? Yep, send them on. I got a text, a call, and an email with Josh's name, his picture, and reviews of his actual work from other satisfied customers. So I knew who was coming to my house. Did an awesome job, was thorough, in and out in less than an hour. And now we know our system is in tip-top shape for the coming warm weather. River City's 1 Hour Air, just $97 for that preseason AC tune-up. Mine was complimentary because I'm a member of their service club, and I would highly recommend that to you as well. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
What if you could truly energize your body and mind from the most fundamental level, your cells? Cellivate is a revolutionary health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement, packing everything you need to optimize your mind and body from the inside out. The unique formula combines top-notch cellular energizers, nootropics, herbal extracts, and powerful antioxidants, all in one sugar-free 12-ounce can. Elevate your cells. Cellivate.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at OC.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Using some of the clock. And he fires. Yes!
Just taking a look at. For some 40 years, Marv Albert's voice has been synonymous with the NBA. And Marv Albert, after this year's Eastern Conference Finals, calling it a career. So his career spanning nearly 60 years, Marv Albert has called 13 NBA Finals, 25 All-Star games for NBC and Turner. He, of course, was the voice of the Dream Team's romp during the Olympics on NBC back in 1992 when the Dream Team made their run through Barcelona. There is just no voice that is more synonymous with the NBA than Marv Albert, but he's done so much more than that as well. A lot of this I didn't even know. Marv Albert's called 8 Super Bowls. He's called 8 Stanley Cup Finals. He's been absolutely a mainstay for so many years. For me, I'll tell you, I always think of Marv Albert because of my childhood with the NBA on NBC, John Tesh's Round Ball Rock. I mean, when you would hear this in the Jordan era when the Bulls were at the peak of their popularity, it just felt so much bigger. And that was an amazing era in the NBA. The NBA Finals, and it was always Marv Albert on the call. I just love all of those memories of watching the NBA as a kid, listening to Marv Albert, hearing this theme. When TNT brought back this theme, did they do it for college? Or like Fox, didn't Fox do it for their college coverage? I think Fox is using this for their college coverage, which I love, by the way. So good on them for that. And I was really excited as well because a new generation of fan kind of got introduced to Marv Albert's calls for a lot of those great moments when The Last Dance was released last year. So when they used a lot of game footage from Michael Jordan's Bulls teams and you got to see all those great games, you got to hear Marv Albert. And it was cool It was nostalgic to get to relive some of that. And it was really cool for a generation of younger fans who never got to see those games to really experience it as well. So Marv Albert, who, man, I didn't like some of the stuff I didn't realize he did early in his career. He was the New York Rangers voice on radio in 1965. He was the voice of the Knicks, became the voice of the Knicks 2 years later, then started doing Knicks games on TV for MSG Network in 1986, and then, of course, transitioned into NBC, and then after NBC, into Turner. So Marv Albert, Hall of Fame career coming to a close here. You know what I heard was that Marv Albert wasn't going to retire, but he was kind of putting his resume out there, and he couldn't get a nibble. So Marv Albert retiring. He doesn't know what his next move is going to be, but he's chewing on some ideas. You know what I hope, Muse?
Well, what's that, Matt?
I hope that Marv Albert really sinks his teeth into retirement.
What are you getting at? I don't really necessarily follow.
Marv Albert really took a bite out of the broadcasting apple. Marv Albert. He'll be 80 next month. Did you know that?
I actually did know that, but that's because I was looking him up earlier to see how old he was. But yeah,
and he's still as sharp as those canine teeth.
I mean, again, does he frequent restaurants a lot? Is he a food connoisseur? He bites? I don't understand. I don't really follow here.
I don't know how. Moose and I were talking about this earlier. You have no idea, had before today, no idea of Marv Albert's sordid past.
Not a clue.
Did it just absolutely blow your mind whenever you heard this?
Yes. For many reasons.
Why? What were the many?
Well, I mean, mainly just first of all, how I'd never heard of something like this. And secondly, how it would just went away.
Yeah.
And didn't follow him around.
For those that don't know, I would assume, and so what's really weird is I'm not like so much older than you and Paul, but I'm older, but I must just be like just older enough to have been aware of this when it was happening. And you all, Paul, you didn't remember this at all either. You knew nothing about this at all either.
Nothing at all.
So bizarre. Like Marv Albert back in the 90s, in the late 90s, was accused of sexual assault, of biting women and doing really sordid things. He went to trial. He ultimately pleaded guilty to some lesser charges and got a 12-month sentence suspended. But Marv Albert was doing really pervy things in the 90s.
I mean,
and the fact that the most amazing part of it is that he is like Teflon, bro. I mean, nobody mentions this anymore. How NBC fired him and then rehired him 2 years later.
That's so bad.
And then whenever they lost the NBA rights, he just went to Turner.
Chompers and all.
He wears a lot of makeup, too. I mean, I have powder on my face, so the lights and the glare and all that stuff. Marv looks like RuPaul.
I mean, he's old, Matt. He's almost 80.
That's fine. Makeup. Look, Brent Musburger is almost 80. Brent don't look like that. Marv. Legend. For more reasons than one. Hour 2. Next.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. One of the great things, as there has been such an inventory shortage in our country, you're probably familiar with the microchip thing that's going on. So many lots are lacking inventory. If you drive by South Point Volkswagen, airline just north of Highland, Thankfully, they don't have that problem. They have a ton of inventory. Brand new Volkswagens. You can go test drive one today. Airline just north of Highland. And remember, because in a lot of places inventory is thin, you can get top dollar for your trade-in. It's a great time, actually, to get top dollar for a trade-in to put toward a new vehicle and drive something nice new. It's at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or online at southpointvw.com. If it's on the lot, it's online. Shop them today. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direct?
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
The 2021 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage. Sunday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. at Ben 77 in Perkins Row. Benefiting the Baton Rouge Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation. With live music, great food, and an amazing atmosphere. Raise money to support local law enforcement and first responders. Tickets are $100. Get yours at the door or smokembr.com. That's smokembr.com.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Hand Injury Lawyers. Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here, glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Talk some Pels with Jake Madison of Locked On Pelicans here in about 15 minutes. Devin Fontenot, bottom of this hour. Anthony Ranaudo, 1 hour from right now. Hope you had an awesome weekend. You can always join the show. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona, jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat, or you can text us in the 225-396-4400. Save that number. It goes directly to my phone, 396-4400. Text anytime. I'm genuinely surprised that Musso and Paul knew nothing about Marv Albert's sordid past. I am a little bit relieved that many of you did, as many have texted during the break or posted on Twitter or there in the chat. So how Marv Albert got away with, like, the criminal activity, the sordid criminal activity just didn't stick to him long term. So good on him, I guess, but still a great broadcaster. Anyway, so the NFL draft came and went, and shortly after the draft, as we know always happens, guys that go undrafted sign undrafted rookie free agent deals. Well, there are still players that don't sign immediately after the draft and after those rookie free agent deals start getting signed. Some instead get invited to rookie minicamp. So a short time after the draft picks and then select veterans get invited to rookie minicamp to have sort of a tryout. And that's oftentimes where guys will go work out for the team, just get another look to see if maybe they might be a fit for that organization. So that happened this past weekend. NFL teams had rookie minicamps all over, and the Saints were no exception, and they worked out a handful of players. The interesting thing about this year in particular is that NFL teams, because of COVID, were limited to 5 invitees. Only 5 undrafted rookies could come work out at this past weekend's rookie minicamp. So the Saints had 5 players come and work out, and they did end up signing 3 of them. Linebacker Quentin Poling, offensive lineman Kyle Murphy, and defensive tackle Lorenzo Neal Jr. You might have heard the story by now. If you're not familiar, Lorenzo Neal Jr., of course, is the son of former Saints fullback Lorenzo Neal. Lorenzo Neal, who was drafted by the Saints in the 4th round of the 1993 NFL draft, who played 16 NFL seasons, who was a member of the NFL's 2000s All-Decade team. Lorenzo Neal, now retired, his son will begin his career in the same place where his father began his back in 1993, which is an awesome, cool parallel. I love this on so many levels. I love the nostalgia of Lorenzo Neal starting his career in the same place that his dad did. Being someone who watched the Saints in the early 90s, who was going to games in the early 90s and watched Lorenzo Neal, I love the fact that it's sort of eras being tied together. I also really like this signing as a prospect. So I went and did some digging on Lorenzo Neal Jr. Admittedly, I didn't know a ton about him, but he played his college ball at Purdue. And his career at one point was on a very lofty trajectory, but he had a pretty devastating ACL injury, which derailed it. So he played in 2017 as a freshman and then had a breakout season in 2018 as a sophomore. As a matter of fact, Pro Football Focus before the 29, I went and looked this tweet up today. Pro Football Focus in 2019, in August of 2019, mentioned that Lorenzo Neal was the second highest graded player defensive player returning to Purdue for that season. He had 15 quarterback pressures, 22 defensive stops, and 81.2 run defense grade. Basically, he was a really good interior player at 6'3", 325 pounds. Like, he was a run stuffer. He was creating havoc and pressure. He was batting down balls at the line of scrimmage. He had forced a couple of fumbles. But he tore his ACL in the last game of the 2018 season. Missed the bowl game. And complications from that torn ACL caused him to miss the entire 2019 season. There were way too early draft projections after 2018 that had him as a potential first rounder in 2019. Now, obviously, that was way too early, and then the ACL injury comes, and then it lingers, and everything since then happened. He did return to Purdue in 2020 in what was, of course, an abbreviated Big Ten season. They played just 6 games in that shortened season, and he had only a handful of tackles in an abbreviated season. So I understand why NFL teams cooled on a player like Lorenzo Neal. Think of it in these terms. Many people around here might even be more familiar with Dylan Moses. Dylan Moses was on the cover of ESPN, the magazine, as an 8th grader. We all know the story. He was a projected first-round draft pick, tears his ACL, decides to go back to Alabama, never got back really to his pre-ACL form this season, and went undrafted because no team was going to pass him on a medical. So sometimes those things happen, and great players fall in the draft or out of the draft altogether because of injury. And it appears that's what happened here with Lorenzo Neal. But you know he's got the genetics. He's the son of a dude that played 16 years in the NFL. He had the resume, was building the resume at one point in his college career, and then was derailed by injury. If he can come back from this injury, it's a big if, the Saints may have a steal here. Maybe they don't, but what does it cost you? The guy worked out at rookie minicamp, and you sign him to an undrafted free agent rookie deal after minicamp. So you have him to come to training camp to see if he can make the squad. Okay. I'll remind you that you lost Malcolm Brown and Sheldon Rankins in free agency. You need interior linemen. You didn't draft any, and you don't have any money to go sign any high-priced free agents. You couldn't even keep your own. I'll also remind you that the Saints have found gems on the defensive line among their undrafted free agents. 2 years ago, it was Shai Tuttle. Last year, it was Malcolm Roach. Now, maybe it's Lorenzo Neal. Maybe not. But at a position of need, a guy who has the pedigree and at one point was building the resume, if you're betting on the come here, you're getting a low entry point, and if he's healthy and can show out, maybe you might have stumbled on a guy that can actually give you meaningful snaps. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself here, but there's reason to be excited about letting Ryan Nielsen get his hands on Lorenzo Neal to see if maybe you can coach that guy up and maybe he could be a rotational player for you at a place where you need depth. We'll get those answers once training camp rolls around, but it's certainly an intriguing prospect to keep an eye on, and not just because of the name on the back of the jersey. All right, so after further review, glad you're here. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. Pels season ended last night. Jake Madison, Locked on Pelicans. He joins us to talk about what the Pels need to do heading into this offseason. Stick around. AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. My father-in-law had State Farm for 50 years, 50, had, because last week he switched. Had State Farm for 50 years. Barely ever filed a claim. Recently, filed a claim with State Farm, they denied it. He said, I'm fed up. I spent money with you for 50 years. This is the first time I've needed to file a claim and you deny it. Called Insurance Network of Louisiana. He had called them before, by the way, on my recommendation to shop to see if they could get him better coverage. In the past, they weren't. But this time when he called, they were able to save him money, get him better coverage than he had with State Farm. Don't just assume that you're properly covered or paying a fair price. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop for free to see if they can get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-34...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We're in a situation where there's a world of optionality available to us. The pick assets we have give us incredible flexibility. And because we have a young group that is, quite frankly, most of them on rookie scale, and other players that we're very high on, we've secured for multiple years at affordable numbers. We're going to be able to be aggressive if the right fit exists for us, Will. So I think you could see us do virtually anything in that space.
David Griffin, Pelicans Vice President of Basketball Operations, as the season came to an end Sunday night, and the Pelicans brass and players had sort of their exit meetings today. Jake Madison, host of Locked On Pelicans. He's on Twitter at NOLA Jake. Always good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us as he joins us today. Jake, thanks, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, Matt.
Always our pleasure. Okay, so based upon what your expectations were coming into the season and then how it obviously ended, how do you grade the season as a whole?
It's not too good. You put it somewhere in the C range. If you really want to be maybe optimistic and generous, you probably give them a C+. Trying to get into the 10th seed at the very minimum and get into the play-in tournament and at least sniff the postseason shouldn't be a very high bar to clear, but the Pelicans weren't able to do it, and they weren't able to do it while being healthy pretty much all season long, really until the very end. You saw repeated mistakes from them, whether it was in the fourth quarters and blowing double-digit leads that they had, unable to close out close games that they were in. David Griffin talked about this today. The repeated defensive miscues, not being able to defend the three-point line, is pretty disappointing for a team that just should have been able to do better based on the talent that they have. But at the same time, you did see the emergence of Zion Williamson, and there's a good chance he's going to make one of the All-NBA teams when those get released at the end of the year. You saw Brandon Ingram kind of shifting roles a little bit, but still maintaining the same numbers per game as last year when he was an All-Star. It shows they have the two core guys in place, and they just need to figure out the roster around them. But it's still disappointing they didn't get into the postseason. And you could hear that disappointment in Zion Williamson and his media availability today. So you can't really give him a great grade because of that, I don't think.
So Griff also said, Van Gundy said today that he wasn't making excuses, but basically made excuses and said he wasn't able to coach the guys hard because they didn't have as much time together because of COVID, et cetera. How much stock do you put into that?
I mean, a little bit. The Pelicans were going to be at more of a disadvantage than other teams going into the season with those COVID restrictions in place. But Stan Van Gundy also said it. Every team dealt with this. Every team dealt with the lack of practice and the lack of training camp. Now, a new head coach coming in and trying to put in a new system, get players to buy into that. You're integrating a number of new starters in Eric Bledsoe and Steven Adams to the roster as well. That put the Pelicans probably behind the eight ball to a certain degree. But again, I don't know if that was things that really manifest itself in the fourth quarter of games. And this team should have been better at the end of the season than they were at the start. And when you factor in, maybe that period of time with some injuries towards the end, they weren't. This was a team that should have been peaking as they try and get into the postseason, as they get that more favorable schedule in the latter half of the year, and they failed that test. And I agree with you when we heard Stan Van Gundy talk. He was making excuses, even though he was saying they weren't making excuses.
They were very clearly excuses. Listen, you and I have done this long enough. I'm not a fire the coach guy, but I'll ask the question out of obligation. Do you believe that Stan Van Gundy is the guy to maximize this roster moving forward?
I have more doubts about it today than I would have when he was hired. I don't know if he's the guy that is going to help this team win a title or if that'll be another head coach. But he's the guy that's brought in to kind of build structure and put some of those basic foundations in place. And I do wonder if he really did that much of that this season. You saw, again, the repeated defensive miscues, the same thing over and over and over again, all season long that, we could have been on here talking every single day or every single week complaining about. It didn't look good. His rotations in games were really confusing. The over-reliance in Eric Bledsoe was really confusing. You didn't really see defensive strides made from guys like Zion Williamson or Brandon Ingram, who really need to take those steps if this team wants to reach the next level. It was disappointing overall, and I don't really think Stan Van Gundy did a great job this year.
Jake Madison is our guest, host of the Locked On Pelicans podcast every single day. He's on Twitter at NOLA Jake. Make sure you're subscribed up to the podcast. So I don't know that there's – let me ask one more about the season that was, and I want to look forward. Aside from Zion having his breakout year, give me a few positive takeaways from the season.
I mean, there were a couple. I know I sound very negative here, given that they still missed out on the 10th spot, which not a high bar to clear. But there were a lot of positives. I think you really saw the emergence of Jackson Hayes coming off the bench for this team. The guy who was drafted 8th overall in the same draft as Zion Williamson, looked unplayable at the start of the year and fell out of the rotation, but really took strides and showed he's probably a borderline starter for New Orleans in the future, or at least next season, and after that, probably the likely starter. He's got a bit of a jump shot to his game, stepping into threes with confidence. He's a vertical threat at the rim, and looks like he's going to pair nicely with Zion, especially as a rim protector. You also saw Najee Marshall come alive in the second half of the year, an undrafted guy that they signed to a multi-year deal for really, really cheap, and looks like he's going to be that wing defender that the team needs, a guy that can hit some open threes too. There's shades of Tony Allen in his game, and locking a guy like that up for 2-3 years on a very team-friendly deal bodes well for future flexibility that this team has.
All right, Jake, let's start to look ahead, since you kind of started to allude to it there. And we heard Griff in that opening bite talk about the treasure trove of assets that they have in the draft. Let's work through what they have coming up in this offseason, the assets they have in this draft, and what they might be able to leverage to fill holes in this roster and what they need.
So the main one is going to be their lottery pick, and we'll get some clarity on this in about a week or so. They're in a three-way tie with the Chicago Bulls and the Sacramento Kings for the 8th best lottery odds, so kind of the inverse standings here, if you will. Once that gets broken with a couple of coin flips, you know, the Pelicans could have the 8th pick, they could have the 10th pick in this draft, but regardless, they're going to have a 20% chance to jump into the top 4 and basically a 4.5% chance of getting the number 1 overall pick. So depending on what happens with that draft pick, I think is going to really inform what the Pelicans want to do this offseason. If they jump up to 1 or 2 in this draft, I think they end up staying there and take one of the top 2 prospects available. But if it stays where it should be in that 8, 9, 10 range, I think they're going to look to move it. I think they know there's huge expectations on this team next season. You're not going to add an impactful player at that point in the draft that's going to help you win next year. I think they look a little bit more short-term and try and move that pick and some of the other picks that they might have for an established NBA player that they feel is on the timeline of guys like Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram. They also have 4 second-round picks. There's no way they're going to use all 4 of those second-round picks. They might try and package those to move up to the top of the second round. But by and large, those 4 picks aren't the most valuable assets you have out there, and they're more sweetener than anything else.
Jake, they need shooting, so where do they get it?
Yeah, it's the million-dollar question, right? This is, you know, the skill that everyone in the NBA wants more of. You're going to need to find it in free agency. And I said, as this team kind of embarks on building the roster around Zion and BI and understanding they need more shooting, you've just got to go in on offense. The defense struggled last season, but you know what? You need more shooting just to make Zion's life easier. And no matter what teams are going to triple team him, you need shooters out there on the perimeter that are going to make those teams pay for triple teaming him. And they need to get that in free agency, which means they're going to be very active. I expect them to maybe try and move off of Eric Bledsoe's contract to free up some money, potentially even a guy like Steven Adams as well. They have their full mid-level exception available, using parts of that on Didi Uzada this year, but it won't factor in next season. So they're going to have every option available to try and get some shooters and space the court a little bit better next year.
Do you have a name that would be a dream scenario if they could make it work?
You know, I think Bradley Beal's still a name you want to look at, particularly depending on what happens to the Washington Wizards in this play-in tournament here. If they're on the outside looking in, that's still a team that's kind of in limbo, that's very expensive. They should be smart to try and blow it up. You might be able to go out and get him. He doesn't quite fit the young timeline that both Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson show, but I think the ability is there, and it would make a lot of sense, and the fit would work really well. And also look at Portland. A guy like C.J. McCollum could be available. You know, maybe you can try and make a run at a guy like Damian Lillard, though that is the longest of shots, I think. But those are the type of names that they have the assets to go out and get. So kind of everyone's on the table for New Orleans right now, I think.
He is Jake Madison, host of the Locked On Pelicans podcast, on Twitter at NolaJake. If you're not yet, subscribe up however you listen to your podcast, Locked On Pelicans, every single day. Always appreciate the time throughout the season, man. You know, I'll be bugging you during this offseason as well. We appreciate you.
Sounds good, Matt. Thanks for having me on.
Always. Be well. That is Jake Madison. This is After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Devin Fontenot, LSU senior pitcher, is going to join us here in about 5 minutes from right now. Looking forward to chatting with Devin Fontenot about the weekend that was and really his entire career, which isn't quite over. It might get extended because of the surge that LSU's been on here of late. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Former LSU pitcher Anthony Ranaudo in about half an hour. Devin Fontenot is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local and shop local at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. By now you know where they are. Siegel near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. That's our friends at Clegg's Nursery. Full greenhouses. If you need soil or mulch in the bag or in bulk, they've got it. Or maybe you're just checking off honeydews. Remember at Clegg's, anything you'd find at a hardware store, they have at Clegg's Nursery because they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So if you need hammers and nails or spray paint or duct tape or floodlights or rakes or garden hoses, gas cans, they've got it at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. It's a great time to get in the yard and just plant something. And Clegg's has the best selection you'll find anywhere in town. Shop local for more than 60 years. Go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with a certified pre-owned vehicle.
From the makers of Blue Moon comes Light Sky. An extraordinary citrus sweet brewed with real tangerine peel, only 95 calories. Welcome to the light side of the moon.
What if you could truly energize your body and mind from the most fundamental level? Your cells. Cellivate is a revolutionary health-aware approach to energy, focus, and mood enhancement, packing everything you need to optimize your mind and body from the inside out. The unique formula combines top-notch cellular energizers, nootropics, herbal extracts, and powerful antioxidants, all in one sugar-free 12-ounce can. Elevate your cells. Cellivate.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Auctioner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Auctioner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
How about the baseball Tigers from a 1-8 start in conference play? Now they head into the final weekend of SEC play with a chance to punch their ticket into the NCAA regionals. Big part why, of course, senior pitcher Devin Fontenot, who was one of the seniors honored on Sunday at Senior Day out at the box. Good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Devin, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? No problem.
Doing really well. We appreciate a couple of minutes. First of all, let's start with what the emotion was like yesterday in the pregame ceremony for Senior Day.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. You know, being a part of this program is something special. We all cherish it, and we know we're playing for a lot more than ourselves. So it was good to get out there and be represented for, you know, all the work that, you know, each of us put in every day, and it was a good time.
When you started, did you think you'd end up here 4 years?
I had no clue what was going to be the thing for me. I come in here as a freshman. I wasn't really expecting. I didn't know what to expect. You know, coming to LSU from Texas, just had to kind of earn my keep and just take it one game at a time, and that's what I did.
I mean, I think everybody kind of has that strategy. Like, you got in your mind, like, all right, maybe see what it looks like. And COVID just flipped everything on its head. So, I mean, it's obviously not done for you yet, but as you kind of look back on your time here, has it gone as you thought maybe it would?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, we didn't make it to Omaha yet, but, you know, we still got that goal ahead of us this year, and it can be achieved. We just got to take care of business coming down the stretch. But, you know, it's definitely been all that I've expected it to be and more, and it's been a great opportunity.
Man, it's interesting. Obviously, Omaha around LSU is always the goal, and that a month ago didn't feel realistic. Today,
right.
it feels more realistic. So take me back, because I'm going to do a contrast with you here, a compare and contrast, but take me back to whenever SEC play started and you all are 1-8, you know, coming out of that Vanderbilt weekend. What did it feel like around the as a guy who's been here 4 years? What did that feel like being 1-8 around the program?
You know, like, some people might have been a little bit nervous, but most of us weren't nervous at all. We knew that we had nearly 20 games left to play, 19 games left to play, and we know we have a good team. We can play with anybody on any given day. We just had to, you know, turn a couple things around. You know, one pitch or one play or one big hit can change the outcome of a game, and that's kind of what was happening to us at the beginning. So that was kind of our speech in the locker room to everybody, was just, you know, somebody's got to make that big pitch, or somebody's got to come up with a big hit and make a big play in order to, you know, turn these games into wins. And, you know, so that we've been winning the games that we really need to win here coming at the end, and we just got to keep doing that coming into this week, and then, you know, we'll get into Hoover and take care of business over there as well, like we always do.
Do you, Devin Fontenot is our guest, do you all internally, or does Coach Maneri talk with you all about your tournament resume and about what you feel like you need to do to get in or what to clinch? I mean, does it go macro like that at all?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Coach mentions it to us whenever it needs to be mentioned, but, you know, we all know, you know, what it takes, and especially those of us that's been here for a couple of years. So we kind of don't necessarily try to worry about, you know, the big picture as much. Most of the time we try to take it one game at a time, but, you know, we know what's at stake, and it's just it can't be hidden. You know, we know we got to take care of business this week, and we'll be ready.
Your role's been interesting too, man. From coming in and the assumption being that you were going to be the closer, to now being this guy that's sort of like, all right, if you get through 7, just give it to Fontenot and let him go get the last 6 outs or 8 outs or whatever it may be. How did that role for you? I mean, first of all, do you agree? Like, is that kind of just the stated or understood role for you at this point? How did that evolve?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've pitched in many different situations.
Right.
I've kind of just, you know, whenever Coach wants to put me in the game, I feel like I can get the job done for the team, you know. So it really doesn't matter, you know, if he wants me to close the game or come in the 6th, come in the 5th, or whatever. But, you know, I haven't been as consistent this year as I wanted to be. That's kind of obvious. But, you know, when it comes down to it, you just got to get the job done. And here lately, you know, like I said, in the games that we really need to win, I figured out a way to put the team on my back and lead us to that victory. So, just whether that's going out there and getting those 8 outs or just getting in the ninth, just somebody's got to get the job done. So I've been trying to, as a senior, wanting to get in there and get the job done for them.
You said the consistency hasn't been there. Any reason why you feel that maybe it's been more or less consistent this year?
I mean, it's just it's pitching, it's baseball. The game gets the best of you sometimes, and sometimes you think you got to figure it out, and that's the last thing you can think in this game. So you just got to go out there every day with the mindset of like you got to work just as hard as you did the outing before that, and maybe I got away from that a couple times, and it came back and hurt me. But you just gotta go out there and get it done.
Any changes to the hair planned for a postseason run?
No, I think I'm gonna stick with it, man. I've been rocking this haircut, getting it touched up every week for quite a while now. So I think I'm just gonna keep it for the rest of the time.
So we don't get to see you without a hat. So I mean, it looks like it's a little tight on the sides, and you got a little design in the back. So can you kind of break down what when you go sit in the chair, what you ask for? Like, do you say, "Give me the Ricky Vaughn"? What do you say?
That's what I'm saying. I get it done every week. So I've kind of just gotten to the point now where I just sit down and he knows what I want. But I guess you can call it a mohawk. But I just like it to look nice.
What was it like watching Gio go yard twice on Sunday?
Oh, that was sick, man. Gio's one of our guys. He's a baller out there in the outfield, and he definitely can help us in the lineup as well. So it was good to see him. Get some power behind a couple of those swings.
Man, he went oppo. I mean,
I know.
Come on, like, has he ever touched you up like in intra-squad or anything like that?
Gio's laid down a few bunts on me, I think. But I don't know if he's ever touched me up like that.
I don't think any. I mean, he's got one career home run. He hits 2 yesterday. I think everybody was stunned by that, man. Hey, a couple more for you. Devin Fontenot's our guest. You'll follow him on Twitter at Fontenot_28. If you all are able to get hot, go on a run in this postseason, I mean, I'm asking you a very broad question. I'll let you take it how you want. But like, what would it mean for you to be able to finish your career with something like that? Especially, I mean, look, 2019, y'all were so close with the home super regional. You had the awesome performance against Florida State, but y'all came up just short. So if it were able to work out for you this year, what would that mean?
Yeah, I think that it would mean the world, man. I definitely want to be a part of the Omaha tradition over here at LSU, and I think that it would be special to a lot of guys, not only myself, but I think we got the team to do it, and we just got to win the games that are important here going down the stretch, and we'll be fine.
I want to ask you about Cruz and Morgan and Thompson, the 3 freshmen that have obviously had great seasons. At what point when you saw them, did you as a senior who's been through a lot, at what point did you look at those guys and go, oh man, like, it's gonna be really good?
Yeah, Trey, Trey was probably, Dylan was obviously the one that everyone was talking about at the beginning.
Right.
And I knew that he was going to step in and be a guy for us right away. Trey came in and I saw him playing first base, and I was a little confused because I thought he might have been an outfielder or any type. But then I was like, oh, he plays first base, okay. So then he just starts making all these plays at first base. I'm like, okay, he actually is first baseman. And then obviously once we get into the season and stuff like that, he goes on a rampage and hits the ball all over the park, and he's been a great leadoff hitter for us. He's definitely been a good leader for us even as a freshman, and so he just needs to keep that same mindset and continue to strive for greatness.
Man, it's been an interesting season.
Oh,
to say
Thompson. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
Obviously, Thompson's got the rocket arm from shortstop, and he makes a lot of plays. And people compare him to Mr. Alex Bregman, and it's a good comparison. But he's definitely got what it takes to be an everyday player here for 3 years. Devin
Fontenot wrapping up his LSU career. Hopefully Hopefully that wraps up sometime in late June, man. We appreciate a couple of minutes today. Thanks. Best of luck, man, as you move forward through the remainder of the season.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
Our pleasure. Devin Fontenot joined us here for a couple of minutes on AFR. It was interesting how self-aware, right, to hear him say, I haven't even been that – I think everybody knows I haven't been that consistent this year. But what I think they have established is something – look, it's obvious. We talked about it earlier this year. When he's thrown multiple times in a weekend, his second appearance hasn't been as effective as the first. And he's an energy guy. He's a max effort guy. And you go out there and you say, hey, look, instead of trying to get 2 outings out of him in a weekend, try to get 1 long outing. Try to get 6, 7, 8 outs if you need it in a weekend. I mean, go finish a game, get a win. It's what they did on Friday. He went 2 2/3 and still pumping gas in the 9th. So, still a weapon, man. I think they've carved out their role. This has been such an interesting team to follow because it certainly does not look like now what it did when we started the season, if you remember. And LSU had, we thought Hill was going to be a top 10 pick. Hill, Marceau, Labus. The Labus would be a guy who would be your huge advantage on Sunday. Fontenot with Beck maybe as your setup guy. Well, Beck gets hurt. Hill gets hurt. You don't have a number 3. Fontenot has some inconsistency. Man, Jordan Thompson out of nowhere becomes a freshman all-SEC caliber player. I mean, it's certainly not looked like what we thought it would at the start of this season. But they're taking advantage of a manageable schedule at the end to put themselves in position to make a run. So see if they can do it. They got to go get a series win this weekend. There's just no way around that. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. Had someone call me today. Matt, what's your opinion on the ideal protein diet? You've heard me talk about it. It's fantastic. Food tastes great. I'm not hungry. I hit my target in 7 weeks. Lost 20 pounds in 7 weeks. It will melt off of you, and they teach you how to maintain as well. If you've tried other fad diets, do something that works. Ideal Protein at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Blue Bonnet, Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette. Online at theantiagingclinics.com. Beach and pool season are here. Look and feel your best. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Online, theantiagingclinics.com. Rohan Davies calling me. Should I answer it? Hello? I'm doing a radio show. Okay. Okay, Ro. I'll see you later. It's AFR.
AFR.
At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
The 2021 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage. Sunday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. at Ben 77 in Perkins Row. Benefiting the Baton Rouge Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation. With live music, great food, and an amazing atmosphere. Raise money to support local law enforcement and first responders. Tickets are $100. Get yours at the door or Smoke'emBR.com. That's Smoke'emBR.com.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, presented by Relief Windows. Anthony Ranaudo, a little more than 10 minutes from right now. We do have a kickoff time as well for LSU UCLA, the season opener. We'll get to some of that, some NIL stuff going on at the Louisiana Capitol. So we got a busy third hour staring you straight in the face. Right now, though, Muso has Tigers in the Pro.
Tigers in the Pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
Tremont Waters contributed 25 minutes off the bench in the Celtics' regular season finale yesterday, turning in a career-high 17 points off of 7 of 13 shooting, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists for Tremont. The Celtics will move on and face the Wizards on Tuesday in the play-in.
Well, good luck to them.
Skylar Mays saw 27 minutes off the bench, and the Hawks win over the Rockets in their season finale. Mays contributed 16 points off of 7 and 11 shooting, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds. The Hawks are not moving on. So in his rookie season, I don't think they are.
Yeah, they are.
Are they? The Hawks
Yes.
are moving on.
The Hawks
are moving on. Big NBA guy. The Hawks are moving on. Huge, yeah. Can't wait.
I was like waiting to go, well, good luck to them again after.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, they're going to play. They're gonna play.
If you want to know Cal Irvine's RPI, Muse has you covered. If you want to know who's in the NBA playoffs, Muse does not have you covered.
College baseball priorities, right? Anyway, rookie season so far for Skylar Mays.
They're the 5 seed.
They had a pretty good year.
They had a really good
the Hawks, man.
in the play.
Hawks are coming for the Eastern Conference Finals every year, it looks like. Watch out, Philly. Watch out, Philly. Rookie season for Skylar Mays, 33 games, 8 minutes a game, 4 points, 1 assist, and 1 rebound. Nas Reed in the series finale for the Minnesota Timberwolves. They are not. They're really bad. They won 20-something games. Nas, though, in the season finale was perfect from the floor. 7 of 7 shooting, 3 of 3 from behind the arc, 17 points in 17 minutes, 5 rebounds to round out his night. Nas of the season, 70 games. There are 11 points per game, 4 rebounds, and 1 block.
Anybody else?
No, that's it. That's it for the NBA.
Simmons?
No, he didn't play. They're the 1 seed.
They're
the 1 seed.
in.
They're the 1 seed. He's not going to play. They're going to rest him.
Garrett Temple.
He played, but 7 points, I believe, was his.
Bulls?
No. Bulls,
yes, correct.
Bulls not in. Yeah,
right.
But you rest Ben Simmons. The Hawks are coming, so I mean, you got to have Ben Simmons ready.
The Hawks are.
You got to have Ben Simmons ready.
You've learned a lot today.
I have.
You learned the Hawks are in the playoffs.
They are.
And Marv Albert was a perv.
That
might still
was
be.
He?
Might still
was
be.
He ever? Marv Albert, clean it up. Alex Bregman. So we're going to go to Major League Baseball, something I know much more about. Alex Bregman, 2 for 4 yesterday versus the Rangers with an RBI and a run scored. So, Astros got the win. Bregman up to 311 on the season, 5 homers and 22 RBI as he looks for his first 300 season in Major League Baseball. We'll rewind a little bit here and talk Friday's action.
Okay.
So on Friday, the Giants started a series with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right.
And Kevin Gausman towed the rubber for San Francisco, turned in an absolute gem. 8 innings pitched, 5 hits, a run it was earned, no walks, and 12 strikeouts, 96 pitches, 70 strikes. It did, however, result in a no decision. The Pirates would win in 11 innings. Gausman on the season, though, 3-0, ERA 1.84, 53 2/3 innings, 12 walks, 59 strikeouts. Keeps it up. Could be a career year for Kevin Gausman.
Oh, boy.
And finally, Sam Burns, the bid for a second straight PGA Tour win, fell just short yesterday at the AT&T Byron Nelson. Burns, who entered the final round with the lead, carded a 270, finishing in solo second with an aggregate score of 266, 22 under par, just 3 shots behind winner KH Lee. All's not lost. Sam Burns, now the 36th ranked player in the world, and sits at number 5 in the FedEx Cup standing.
It made like 900 G's.
Pretty good. Good 4 days of the office.
He's had a good 2 weeks. Oh, holy moly.
And that's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
Got a text earlier today from Lewis Coleman. Of course, it's his company, Kentucky's Best Hemp. This is what the text reads. Apple honey straws, regularly priced at $69.99, are on sale for $19.99. I gave him the Chris Farley glasses up emoji from the Schmitz Gay beer skit on SNL. Gave him that one. He laughed at that. What a great! I mean, it's like
get it while it's hot, man.
It's like 25% off. Give it a go. Kentucky's Best. It's 30, close to 30%. Maybe it is 30%. Kentucky's Best. Use the promo code AFR30 to save 30% off your order, and make sure you get some of the Apple honey straws, which are regularly priced at $69.99 on sale for $19.99 right now. Kentucky's Best Hemp. Online at KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Kentucky's Best Hemp. Is the bigger story Sam Burns contending consistently? Or the fact that 3 times this year he's had the 54-hole lead and not one?
No, I think the bigger story, the biggest story is him contending consistently. It's hard to win on the PGA Tour, but he definitely feels like a guy. He's won now. He knows that feeling. He's going to be around that leaderboard a lot more, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another one this year.
He had a really significant lead on Friday. Remember we were talking about, like, could he challenge the 72-hole PGA record, which was 33,
I believe, 33 under par.
Under par. I mean, he was at 17. He was at 18.
17.
I mean, it's incredible. He was rolling.
It's some
and
rough.
It did rain this weekend.
Rough weather.
Some rough weather.
On Sunday.
No doubt. I'm just curious. Like, I'm pumped for him. I'm curious. Hour 3 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Check them out online. Michelli.com. Or, of course, you can find any of their offices all over the U.S. I'm proud to represent Michelli because they're a great Louisiana business. They've been around since 1947. And think about how significant, how sizable this is. They like to say their slogan is, we show the world what measurement can do. And oftentimes, a lot of their clients will go to the website and say, I didn't realize you did that. For example, go to the website, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. They offer ISO 17025 accreditation, by the way. Tap the calibration tab or the services tab and hit calibration. And you'll see all of the different services that they offer. You can request a quote. You can even ship your equipment to them. It's Michelli.com, Michelli. Michelli.com for Michelli Weighing and Measurement.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Callahan Injury Lawyers. Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. A lot of bad weather in the area, I know. So, man, if you're driving around, you're in it. Just put the headlights on, put the wipers on, buckle up, slow down. We got you for another hour. We'll make sure you get where you're going. Anthony Ranaudo joins us every Monday here on the show to recap the series that was for the baseball Tigers. Former Tiger greats with us. Former first-round draft pick. Dude, how are you?
I'm good, but I'm rolling around in all this weather. I'm running errands today, so yeah, this weather is no bueno. But man, are the Tigers getting hot? Let's talk about it, man. I'm excited. Can we catch the wind?
Is it a product of the team playing better? Is it a product of the schedule? What do you think?
I don't know, but either way, you know me. I'm always coming with the positive energy. So they had the hard schedule in the beginning. This is par for the course, you know. So if they can continue to win these games, and they got 3 more, you know, hopefully to see if they can stay hot. Would like to pull that one out Saturday. That would have been really nice. Yeah. But I think it's a combination. I think they're playing well or doing the things that they need to do and beating the teams that they need to beat, and that's part of the game.
Do you think so? Going into this past weekend, there were some people saying, "Man, LSU needs a sweep," and I remember saying on Friday's show, like, this just isn't a team. Like, we have a large enough sample size now to know, like, this isn't a team that is really capable of sweeping. I mean, is that fair? Like, at this point, it's not to say you can't get better, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, is it fair to say, man, you are what you are?
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Like, I mean, you don't have to sweep, right? Like, because if you win 2 out of 3 every weekend, you're going 20-10 in the league. So, but at the same time, you're right. There's not, you know, I think there's a lot of missing pieces on this team. They're a younger, scrappier team. We've said that from the beginning of the year, all year. But it's also the team that could get hot, right? Like, and get the momentum. And if they play right this weekend, never know. Magic in the box. And people want LSU in the postseason. So, you know, these kids might get hot and carry that energy into the weekend.
Let's go through the weekend. So Marceau got the start Friday, and Alabama bangs out 13 hits, scores 1 run. How does that happen?
Dude, I was talking to Chris McGee. So F45 had like a little event at Oasis. So we were watching in and out of at the bar a little bit, you know. But we watched the last 2 innings, and when the box score came up, McGee and I looked at each other and we said, 13 hits, like 1 run on 13 hits, man. That's impressive. So obviously, I think there was 12 singles. I looked at the box score. That's obviously the start, but it goes back to Marceau being clutch. Like, he was pitching out of jams the whole time and but he was throwing strikes. So sometimes when you throw strikes, you're going to give up hits. But you got to limit damage, and he gave up the best kind of hits, obviously. So pitched in the clutch, best kind of hits, scattered them around, and magic in the box, baby.
I don't know that I believe magic in the box. I do believe. Like, I don't believe in magic. We talked about this. I don't believe in any of that stuff. What I do believe is not every college baseball player is familiar with playing in front of 10,000 people. And that's an advantage that LSU players typically have, but one that's kind of been neutralized by the fact that a lot of these guys are freshmen. They haven't played in front of a full house yet.
I have not even thought of it in that perspective as the crowds, you know, kind of expand. That it was a completely different environment when they showed up on campus in the fall, 1, and then 2, like you said, in the beginning of the year with the, you know, the fractional, however many people we can have in the stands or whatever. Right. But yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
I keep asking you about A.J. Labus, and we have the past few weeks. Is it logical to think that his struggles the last 3 weeks are still like just lingering effects from that extended outing against Ole Miss where he threw 126 pitches? He just hasn't been the same guy since.
That's what I was just going to say, man. It just seems like it's not as crisp. You only have one strike. He's still throwing strikes, right? He's AJ. He's doing his job, and I got full disclosure. I didn't watch every pitch of that game. I streamed it and listened to it because I was over in Cards and Culture with my guy Joey DeNova, building that stuff out on the weekend. But I think you're right, dude. It's just so it's such a demand, and obviously when you see a couple weeks in a row, I told you that hopefully they monitored his innings and his bullpens and different things. I don't know. I'm not on the inside, but I think it's clear as day that he definitely is not the same guy. But he's still throwing strikes, so hopefully he figures it out. Hopefully, if they do make the postseason, there's a little extra rest, so hopefully he'll kind of rebound and be ready for that last little push.
Yeah. What about Mikhail Hilliard, man? That's the other one that's been just the really pleasant late season surprise that he's established this consistency as a starter over the last 3 weeks. Is there anything that you see in him that leads you to believe that he's going to be able to keep this up through whatever run they may be able to make?
Yeah, just consistency. I think having that third starter on Sunday, like we talked about last weekend, is super key, and knowing you're getting a quality start. Let's Coach Maneri and AD kind of move around the bullpen pieces and get creative, and then it gives you options like we saw at the end of the weekend. When Mikhail goes 5 or 6, he could have definitely gone. And I think he pulled him at 63 pitches. I forget what it was. But I was thinking as I'm watching the game, I was like, that's a little early. But then you throw in Edwards, and you got weapons, you got options. When you get solid stuff out of that. So I do. I think he's consistent. He's throwing strikes. He's mixing his pitches well because, like, again, we keep talking about he's not crazy overpowering, but when you command the curveball like he is and then use it as an out pitch, it's a reliable starter on Sunday for sure.
Anthony, if you have 3 starters, how many arms out of the bullpen do you need that you're confident, not just guys on the roster, but arms you're confident giving the ball to in a key situation? How many guys do you need to be able to make a run?
I'm going to be honest with you, the game has changed so much. I don't know if it's different in college. And you watch the major leagues, it's different. But in college, I really believe you have 3 solid starters. Look at us in 2009. We had, 4 or 5 bullpen arms, and then Chad Jones came in and gave us a lefty piece out the pen. But we were, it was Bertocini, Coleman, Ott. We had 5 or 6 guys that Chad. Like there wasn't a ton of guys. So if you got guys going 6, 7, 8 innings and they get better as time goes on in the game, you can definitely get away with 4 or 5 weapons out the pen. But I think that's what LSU has. They got options too. I think the bullpen, it hasn't been as consistent, but you can just plug and play guys in different positions now when you got your starters going longer.
Yeah, we kind of went through it earlier. I think there's 4 guys that they really count on, right? You got Devin Fontenot. It seems as though now that they'll go to Javen Coleman. They got Garrett Edwards. And who's the other one I'm missing that we were talking about earlier? Yeah, and Ty Floyd. Ty Floyd was the other one as well. Those 4 guys, I feel like they'll give the ball to in any key spot. And we were kind of talking about, like, is that enough alongside the 3 starters? I mean, they've got other arms, obviously, but guys that you really count on.
I actually do. I do. Because and Devin now has gotten a little bit more consistent in those extended outings. I thought he looked really good the other night in the limited time that I saw him pitch. And I do. Like I said, we did it with our team, and especially when guys know their roles. And I talked about that earlier in the year, right? We're gonna see how it plays out, and at the end of the year, you're gonna know who we go to. So I think that we're starting to see that, and honestly, I think it's a good thing. Is like, you don't ever want to say you don't have enough weapons, but I really think if everybody knows the roles and they can be counted on those key roles, that's how you get a team formulated down the stretch.
Well, one thing's for sure, man. A month ago, I didn't think we were going to be having conversations this serious about LSU's postseason possibilities, yet here we are. Man, it sounds like your phone's about to crap out on us, man, so I'll let you run. Cards and Culture, y'all check it out. It's coming soon. Do we have a date yet for the opening?
No, we're toying around with some dates. I'm thinking maybe, the soft opening will probably be June 1st. Yeah, I'm sorry about the rain.
It's all good, man.
Yeah, but June 1st we'll have a soft opening. I'm toying around with mid-June for grand opening. So I'm really excited. It's coming out great. I'm excited now.
We're looking forward to it as well, man. We're looking forward to telling everybody to get out there. In the meantime, be well. We'll talk next week.
Sounds good, Matt. Have a good one.
Okay, man. That is Anthony Ranaudo, former Tiger great, joins us here on Mondays. He was out and about driving around. A little trouble there with the cell phone, but all good. We appreciate the perspective. And that is interesting because we were talking about earlier in hour one, LSU out of the bullpen. Yes, they have a lot of guys on the roster, but typically what Doug Thompson has always said is Skip would say he wants 5 guys. 5 guys that he can count on out of the bullpen. I think LSU's got 4. And then after those 4, maybe Blake Money, maybe Will Helmers could give you 5, be number 5 or 6. But really, I think that Maneri and Dunn have pared down to those 4 that they really count on. If they can find a way to get through a weekend with those 4 arms out of the bullpen after their starters, I think they've got a formula here. If they hit enough, to see if they can make it work. Need to make it work for one more weekend. They'll get in. I do want to talk a little bit about their resume and basically, I think that if they win 2 out of 3 this weekend, they're in regardless of what happens in the SEC tournament. We'll get some of that in a little bit. We do now know also that LSU UCLA, when they're going to kick off out in the Rose Bowl on September the 4th. We'll talk about that coming up here in a little bit. And Kim Mulkey, inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. Let's hear some of what Kim Mulkey had to say in her induction speech. Glad you're here on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Stick around.
AFR.
Expanding healthcare in the Baton Rouge area, that is the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. They've even expanded their robotics surgery as well, so you can always learn more at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org, for whatever type of care you may need. If it's elective surgery, if it's emergency care, if it's to deliver a baby, or if it's something like cancer treatments, the Baton Rouge General Hospital has got you covered. Of course, if you're still looking to get your COVID-19 vaccine, or maybe you just want more information on the vaccine before you get it, brgeneral.org. Right there at the top of the page, you'll see the COVID-19 vaccine information tab. You can tap that tab and it'll get you all the information you need about the vaccine and about where you can get it if you do want to get the COVID-19 vaccine. brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org, the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, $2,000 can get you into a new Camry for $299 per month. That's $299 per month. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen, and they have 6 convenient locations, 1 close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, get in and get better.
The 2021 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage. Sunday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. at Ben 77 in Perkins Row. Benefiting the Baton Rouge Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation. With live music, great food, and an amazing atmosphere. Raise money to support local law enforcement and first responders. Tickets are $100. Get yours at the door or Smoke'emBR.com. That's Smoke'emBR.com.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
My mother is in the audience, Drew. She was the one who said, it's okay. It's okay to dress up and look feminine and be tough as hell on a basketball court. And Mom, I thank you for that.
LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame over the weekend. What an honor. A star-studded class that, of course, included Tim Duncan and the late Kobe Bryant. Kim Mulkey, part of that class forever. Her speech was sensational. I know LSU has posted links to it if you want to hear or see the entirety of it. Here's a little more of what she had to say.
I look out from this podium, and I'm really overcome with twin feelings of humility and amazement. Even now, more than a year since I was announced as an inductee into the class of 2020, I'm amazed. I'm amazed that a kid from Hammond, Louisiana, or should I say Tickfall, Louisiana, could find herself in the company of giants.
She has always accepted her roots, no question, and talked even acknowledging her LSU crowd in attendance.
I want to also acknowledge, recently I changed jobs, not because I was fired, but by choice. And I'd like to acknowledge all the LSU contingency here tonight.
It is pretty remarkable, isn't it, that it's been 3 weeks since Kim Mulkey was introduced as LSU's basketball coach. LSU, for 3 weeks ago, 3 Mondays ago when she was introduced, she was hired on the 25th, on April 25th. Today's the 17th. Yes, 3 weeks. Question that math, Musso. You heard that outside, right? It ain't every day that I get math right. I nailed that one, and God's upset with you. You heard that thunder.
You know that was loud thunder if we heard it in this room.
So we're in a bunker. We're in a bunker.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't really hear anything outside. There's like a fire station right behind us, and we never hear the fire trucks now. We're in a bunker. To hear that lightning, and if you heard it, I think they heard it through the mic because I heard it through
I could hear it in my headphones.
That was loud, bro.
That was a lot of thunder.
I'll be careful driving around, man. Long story short, LSU has gotten more positive pub for its women's basketball program in 3 weeks since they hired Kim Mulkey than they did in the last decade with Nikki Fargas. I mean, they went from 5 consecutive Final Fours to irrelevance to being mentioned on stage at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame induction with their coach being inducted before she's ever coached a game at LSU in the same class that Kobe Bryant was on. Awesome. Congrats, Kim Mulkey, on her induction this past weekend. It is after further review. If you want to join us, you can always tweet the show at Matt Moscona at 1045ESPN.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. Jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat. You can always text the show in the 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. We did blow up the text line and the phone at HUDCO on Friday when Terrio was in here. And this weather actually does give me a good opportunity to remind you, HUDCO Roofing. When weather like this happens, unfortunately, this is what it takes for so many to realize they have a roof issue. And I would implore you, please don't wait. When hail comes, it could cause damage to your roof that you don't know until you get up on the roof to find out. And even if you get up on the roof, you may not know what you're looking at. So hire a licensed roofer. Let me say that another way. Call a licensed roofer to provide a free roof inspection. That's what we do at HUDCO. No obligation whatsoever. Get you on the schedule, send one of our inspectors out. It literally could even be Terrio. I mean, if you're watching, there's me and Terrio on the front page on the homepage of the HUDCO website. If nothing else, you can go to HUDCOroofing.com just to see me and Terrio on the front page, on the homepage, HUDCOroofing.com. But we'll send an inspector to your house, get on the roof. The process is so easy. We'll send an inspector, they get on the roof, they'll inspect. If there's damage, we will file a full inspection report. Recommend you file a claim with your insurance company. We will meet your adjuster at your home. You don't have to. And if the adjuster decides that there's damage that warrants replacing your roof, they'll replace the roof, and all you pay is your deductible. HUDCOroofing.com. Let us hold your hand through that process. We have insurance professionals on staff that all they do is work with the insurance companies to make sure that you don't have to and you get everything you're entitled to. HUDCOroofing.com. If you're in Alexandria or north, HUDCOroofing.com. Call the Bossier office. If you're in Baton Rouge or anywhere along the I-10 corridor, call our Baton Rouge office. HUDCOroofing.com, HUDCOroofing.com. All right, it is after further review. LSU and UCLA, we now know, although it has not yet been released by the network or by either of the schools. Garland Gillen of Fox 8 New Orleans tweeted earlier today that LSU and UCLA will kick things off in the Rose Bowl in 110 days. He writes, the September 4th matchup will be broadcast in prime time and can be seen on Fox. I'll admit I was a little leery of this because, of course, it's a West Coast game. And West Coast games oftentimes don't air in prime time here. So sometimes you do get Pac-12 after dark, but this is going to mean if it's prime time East Coast, or I would hope it means it's going to be prime time East Coast and Central, and that 7 o'clock Central kickoff on Fox in their prime time telecast. If that's the case, you'd be talking about a 7 o'clock Central time kickoff, 8 o'clock Eastern in that game, which you sometimes see as Big Ten games. But what it'll likely be now is means you'll have your Big Ten, the kickoff at noon, the big noon kickoff, and then LSU at UCLA will be the primetime game. That is a really interesting slate of games on September the 4th. And something that college football has done in recent years is moved games to that week leading up, especially the Thursday. So you've got really a full slate of games on that Thursday night. You've got Ohio State at Minnesota. You have a Big Ten matchup on Thursday, September the 2nd. And we know Tennessee is also going to play a home game as well on Thursday, September the 2nd, as they've moved up. You've got a ACC matchup with North Carolina at Virginia Tech on that Friday. So, again, it's a full weekend of football. And then on Saturday itself, at Georgia at Clemson, which is likely going to be a primetime game. You got Alabama. And the Georgia-Clemson, by the way, is a neutral site. But you've got Alabama, Miami, which is in Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You've got the LSU-UCLA game that we mentioned also. I mean, you have some pretty significant, and those are just SEC games. You got some pretty significant matchups there in that opening weekend. I mean, Indiana, Iowa, we're going to play a Big Ten game. West Virginia, Maryland is another Power 5. Penn State at Wisconsin, opening the season. How about that? Penn State at Wisconsin to open the season on Saturday, September the 4th. Oregon State at Purdue. I mean, you've got Stanford at Kansas State. I'm not saying that that's a super intriguing matchup, but you're talking about Power 5 matchups in the non-conference, which are really interesting. How about Oklahoma at Tulane? Oklahoma's going to Ullman in New Orleans. So a really, really tasty opening slate, and LSU is going to be in prime time against UCLA, according to Garland Gillen. It's worth noting Garland works for the Fox affiliate in New Orleans, so very likely that information among Fox affiliates being disseminated. So I love that. I'm pumped for it. So LSU and UCLA on September the 4th out in LA. By the way, I was sort of a PSA. I was talking to Jason Ram is on today, my buddy with Mr. Fun's Travel. He does have packages available because a lot of people have asked. I know the LSU Alumni Association, their LSU UCLA travel packages are sold out. And I was talking to Jason today, and they do have seats available. So it's like charter air, hotel, charter transportation from airport to hotel, to and from the game, pregame party, and it includes your game ticket as well. So it's MrFunsTravel.com, MRFUNS Travel.com, MrFunsTravel.com. I'm trying to go to his homepage to see if, it is the one right there on the homepage. So you can show this, Paul, if you want. This is Jason's website, MrFunsTravel.com. Just if you're interested, because a lot of people have been asking about tickets for the LSU-UCLA game. I think that you will be able to get a ticket to this game, provided that California has opened up. I think we talked about this maybe a bit last week. UCLA in the 2019 season, so their last season pre-COVID, they averaged something like 43,000 attendance in the Rose Bowl Stadium, which the Rose Bowl's, I think it's somewhere in the 90. I'm trying to see the attendance at Rose Bowl Stadium. It's 90,888. So in a 90,000 seat stadium, they average just about a little under half the capacity. So, I mean, even if they increase that by 50%, you're still talking about plenty enough seats for any LSU fan that wants to go and get a ticket. But if you're looking to travel, that's a good way to do it. I've traveled with Jason before. They do a great job. So anyway, if you're an LSU fan, you're looking to make plans for the game, looks like it's going to be a primetime game, and there's travel options available. So you can check out MrFunsTravel.com if you want to have all your accommodations taken care of. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out here. I got a break, y'all. When we come back, I want to tell you about the weekend. Got to go out to Houston for UFC 262. It was great to be in an arena again with a packed arena, what that was like. And also, I do want to run through LSU baseball's resume and why I think 2 wins over A&M and they're in, regardless of what happens in the SEC tournament. So we'll go through some of that when we come back. Glad you're here. It's a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows.
AFR.
Of course, we're creeping through the 5 o'clock hour. A lot of you might be knocking off of work. If you're heading home, thinking about what you're going to do for dinner. It's a rainy night. Let Ichiban take care of it. Essen near Perkins, voted by you the best sushi and the best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. That's like for a decade straight. Let them take care of dinner tonight. Call ahead, place your order. They'll have it ready for you. Pull up into the parking spot, dial the number. They'll bring it out to you. You don't even have to leave your car. That's at Ichiban, Essen near Perkins. And, of course, from our friends at Ichiban, their newest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. You can get Bo-Ru to go as well. But let me remind you, they've got all-weather patio dining. So even on a day like this, when it's rainy, if you want to go to Bo-Ru and experience, sometimes I like sitting outside in the rain in a covered area and watching the rain. Great night to do it at Bo-Ru. Right there in Electric Depot on Government Street. Try something new. Try Bo-Ru Ramen.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hanging with Hanny. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
A certified pre-owned vehicle means that it's been certified by factory-trained technicians. It meets a stringent criteria of over 155-point inspection. We want to make sure that vehicle is mechanically sound and that we have a warranty to back it up. There's no mileage limitation. You can be assured that you're driving a vehicle, you got a good value, you'll get that special financing, those special incentives on certain models, and some of the other amenities that you get with the certified pre-owned vehicle.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The Saints announced via their website that they have re-signed cornerback Ken Crowley. I don't think this is a move that's going to make anybody do backflips, but it is something that adds veteran depth to the cornerback depth chart in that cornerback room for the New Orleans Saints. So, of course, they lost in free agency Janoris Jenkins. Marshawn Lattimore kind of has his questions this offseason, considering his legal situation there in Ohio. But it's still understood that the Saints are going to have to address cornerback in veteran free agency. Unless if they're, listen, nobody's going to sit here and argue that Ken Crowley is going to be a starting cornerback opposite Marshawn Lattimore. And nobody, I think, is going to argue the same for P.J. Williams. But you bring back guys that know your organization. They know what the expectation is. Of course, you have a new secondaries coach now with Chris Richard taking over for Aaron Glenn, who's now in Detroit. So if you have guys that can keep some continuity in that room, I like that a lot. I like Ken Crowley as a potential nickel or dime back, a guy that can also give you, valuable reps and snaps on special teams. As a starting boundary corner, don't really love that guy. Very interested to see how quickly Paulson Adebo can come along. I'm not sure that I love that as a boundary corner option game one, but we never really know until we go into camp and see how these things play out. But it does still feel like the Saints are going to have to add a veteran corner somewhere along the way. I know Richard Sherman is the name that everybody mentions, and until something along those lines happen, that's probably the name everyone is going to keep mentioning. But Ken Crowley is back with the New Orleans Saints after signing as a free agent today. All right, it is After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Paul Maneri met with the media today after his team took 2 out of 3 over Alabama this past weekend. And he did talk about this team right now and how well they're playing.
I think our team is playing its best baseball now as we're going down the stretch. We dug ourselves a hole. I know that, and I wish we hadn't, but the season's not over. I kept saying that, we got to keep playing. You got to keep positive. You got to keep getting after it. And here we are now going into the last week of the regular season. We have 4 games remaining. And if we can get the job done in this last week of the season, we're going to go to Hoover. And if we can have a good showing in Hoover, we're going to get into the NCAA tournament. You get into the big dance, it's a clean slate.
It's amazing. They started 4-11, 1-8, and then were 4-11 after the South Carolina series. But after that, since that 1-8 start, they're 10-8. So this is a team that after starting the season against the teams that are presently ranked, Vanderbilt's 4th, Mississippi State is 7th, and Tennessee is 9th in the RPI. They've managed to dig themselves out of that hole. They're not all the way out. I mean, you're looking at a team right now that's 11-16 in conference. I don't think anybody's going to do backflips and be really excited about a team that's 11-16 in conference. But context matters. When you know how they started to get where they are now is impressive. And I believe that this team, if they win this weekend in College Station, that they're in, regardless of what happens in Hoover. So here's the resume, if you're looking at it. And I'm pulling this from Warren Nolan right now. But the RPI is up to 18. 18. They're inside of the top 20. Now, that may change because the team you play this weekend, Texas A&M, is currently 68th in the RPI. You're 18 in the RPI. You're number 2 in strength of schedule. You played the second most difficult schedule in all of college baseball. LSU has played 25 quad 1 games. They're 10-15. 25 quad 1 games. To put that into perspective, Gonzaga is one spot ahead of LSU in the RPI. Gonzaga has played 8 quad 1 games. LSU has won more quad 1 games than Gonzaga has played. And when you look at quad 4, LSU 7-0, meaning they really don't have a bad loss on their resume. They've played a ton of really good teams. They've avoided a bad loss. Their RPI is 18. They've won 32 games. When you just look at the resume, they check every box except the conference record. It's why we've talked about this so much this year and every year. Your conference record matters. 11-16 isn't going to do it. We know the numbers. Teams in SEC play under this format that have won 13 conference games, gone 13-17, they earn a regional berth about 35% of the time. You get to 14-16, that number jumps over 60% of the time. But 2 years ago, in 2019, Florida had an RPI of 27. They finished the season with an RPI of 30 because they lost in regionals. But they were 27th in the RPI. They were 13-17 in SEC play. And they lost their opener of the SEC tournament. LSU's RPI is better than that Florida team. You win 2 games, you've got the same conference record as that Florida team did, regardless of what you do in Hoover. If you go take 2 this weekend, you are in a better position now than Florida was 2 years ago, and they got in. You should absolutely get in. Yes, brand name matters. Anyone who argues to the contrary is kidding themselves. Of course it matters. Of course you want LSU in a regional. Where do they send you? I don't know. That Florida team got sent to Dallas Baptist. LSU has been sent to the West Coast, as we know. I don't know where they go, and I don't really care. I mean, I do care, obviously. Where you go is going to determine if you're able to make a run. But just the opportunity to be in is incredible considering where they were a month ago and certainly where they were when they started conference play. And I do believe you get 2 wins. Just get 2 wins in College Station. You don't need to sweep. Just get 2 wins. Get to 13-17. Your resume, you will be in the top 20 in the RPI, right there around 20 in the RPI. You'll have 13 conference wins. You will have plenty of quad 1 wins. You will have avoided a bad loss. That should be enough to punch your ticket into regionals. And then we'll see where they send LSU. And we pray. Especially if you're a radio show host who really, really, really wants LSU to play deep into June because it helps with content. All right, without further review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. You can find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. That's Shaw Bills. And remember, Shaw Bills is always looking for qualified technicians as well. So if you're looking for work, Shaw Bills is looking for you. You can apply online or in person. Remember, they've got retirement benefits. They've got health benefits with employment participation. They've got a tool purchase program. They've got paid holidays. If you're looking for a job, Shawbills is looking for you. ShawBillsTire.com. Apply online or in person. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. Man, had a great weekend. Got out to Houston on Saturday, left Saturday morning, drove into Houston, UFC 262 at the Toyota Center. No restrictions, no masks, 100% capacity. And, man, it was just phenomenal to be in an arena again with a large crowd that was excited. I'm sure Muse was at the box this weekend. I saw capacity. I saw the listed attendance at maybe like 60, or just over 6,000. So not completely full. Is that about accurate?
Yeah, that's probably about right.
I mean,
7,000.
Your experience was probably similar to the one it was just, it just felt new again. It felt new to be in a place where the crowd could be loud, could impact and a sporting event. To feel energy in a building again was awesome. I know it was for me at UFC 262 this weekend on Saturday. I'm sure it was at the box as well. It sounded like it on radio and TV.
It was awesome. I mean, to be able to just sit next to somebody again
instead of a cardboard cutout.
Well, not even just that. Just instead of open space. I mean, you have to space everybody out, and you're just next to the person that you came with. To be able to sit amongst a group again. I mean, it was great. And I mean, the crowd was into it, and the games were good, so the crowd stayed into it, and they stayed the whole game.
On Friday, so left here, and when I get home every day, I eat dinner, and then Drew, my little boy, he always wants to go for an outing. So normally we go to like the grocery store down the street. And this would have been in the Marceau got in trouble basically in every inning.
He had a runner on second base every inning.
I think this was in the second inning, and he had second and third, and he got the strikeout to get out of the inning. And I was listening on radio while we were driving there, and then when we were walking around the store, I pulled it up on my phone. But technology, it's amazing. The ascending clap and then the explosion, the roar after the strikeout was awesome. I mean, it was almost like hearing it for the first time again. So if you get a chance, there's a baseball game tomorrow. They're hosting Northwestern State. Obviously, they're on the road and against A&M, and then they're not going to be home. It'll be the last game at the box for the year. I'm not telling you to break your back to get to a Tuesday night game, and it may be raining tomorrow. They may not even play it. But whenever you have the opportunity next to get a ticket and go to an event, do it. It's refreshing. It's exciting. We've all earned it after the last year plus. All right, after further review, brought to you by Relief Windows. Let me knock out our final break. Otter will come back, a little Otter Locks, what we're betting on tonight, what we learned, put a button on a Monday edition of AFR. Stay here.
AFR.
Oh, yeah. Monday means all-you-can-eat wings at Pluckers. Every Monday, not just today, every single Monday, all-you-can-eat wings at Pluckers. All throughout the year. Pay one low price, eat as many wings as you want. You want spicy ranch? As many as you want. Garlic parm? As many as you want. Gold Rush? Eat them all. Want to try them all? Do it. Every single Monday at Pluckers, all-you-can-eat wings. Both locations. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Pluckers is great for lunch as well. I probably don't tell you that as much as I should. You want to get in and out quickly for lunch? Pluckers can make that happen. And they have healthy options as well. I love their blue cheese chicken Cobb salad. They've got amazing salads. You can have grilled chicken options as well. The tenders with a side salad is one of my favorites. It's at Pluckers. Or, you can just go binge. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Dine in or carry out. Remember, at Pluckers, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
$29,990 for a new 2021 Ford F-150. Bayou Ford wants to put you in a brand new 2021 Ford F-150 for just $29,990. And new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jacob Hester here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, the place that can be at your convenience during those inconvenient times. I know they've been that for me. I've got 4 boys, right? So sometimes stitches happen, and they have 6 convenient locations, one close to you to be able to be convenient for you. Remember, you can also check in online. PatientPlusUC.com is the website. That way you skip the line as well. Patient Plus Urgent Care Center, get in and get better.
The 2021 Smoke 'em If You Got 'em fundraiser, presented by Mockler Beverage. Sunday, May 23rd at 4 p.m. at Ben 77 in Perkins Row. Benefiting the Baton Rouge Law Enforcement and Criminal Justice Foundation. With live music, great food, and an amazing atmosphere. Raise money to support local law enforcement and first responders. Tickets are $100. Get yours at the door or Smoke'emBR.com. That's Smoke'emBR.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Call 288-8138 or visit reliefwindows.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, reliefwindows.com. We got one thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks.
So we welcome aboard the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you, man?
What's up, Matthew? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic today. Doing awesome. How are you?
Life is good, man. It's Colucci postseason time, so we don't have to wait. We don't have to wait for picks just on Thursday. We get them every night.
We got Colucci tonight?
Every night. The gift that keeps on giving.
All right.
Colucci's fire on ice.
All right. Hit me with some Colucci. Colucci!
All right. The Bruins in the Capitals tonight. Colucci did have the Capitals on Saturday night. They win in overtime. 3 of the first 4 games in the NHL postseason go to overtime. The other one had 4 lead changes last night, 2 lead changes in the third period alone, with Tampa Bay beat Florida. So, yes, the puck line, plus the puck line is the way to go. You're paying a big price. But the Bruins lost tough when they come back tonight against the Capitals, and he is playing the zigzag theory. He's on the Bruins tonight, minus $1.30, $1.35 is where you get most of it. But the Bruins tonight, that's a 6:30 start in the NHL tonight. He won with Washington on Saturday. He won last night with Tampa Bay, and so kind of we're ready for it to ride the wave, Colucci, during the NHL. I got some MLB for you tonight as well.
All right, hit me with it.
All right, dogs. San Francisco plus $1.25 at Cincinnati. So the Giants, man, kind of starting to come back to the norm just a little bit, but not to this point where Cincinnati's $1.40 favorite. That's just too high. We can live at a pick. Hey, plus money, we'll take our shot. What we think is an even game. Washington, the Nationals plus $1.35. The Cubbies should not be favored by $1.50 over anybody, especially good. But John Lester's pitched well for the Nationals. He goes against his old team tonight. We'll have to see if he's allowed to throw at first when the base runner is over there. The Mets plus $1.35 against the Braves. Dogs. Again, this is Taijuan Walker's been one of the real surprises for the Mets with all of their stars that they've been brought in. Into Grom and others, he has been on fire. ERA under 2. He's been in the rotation since the start of the season, plus $1.35. We're taking that one. So all of those three. And I've got a monster dog parlay. $100 pays you $7.70.
All right, let's go.
Colorado plus 90. Colorado's John Gray has pitched well. Okay, guy with a low ERA in the low 2s, and he pitches half of his starts in Coors Field. Hey, he's going to give you a chance to hang in the game against the Dodgers. And Walker Buehler, man, he's a no decision demon, man. One decision in all of his starts this year. He is 1-0. The Arizona Diamondbacks against the Dodgers. I'm getting that one mixed up. Colorado is at San Diego. Arizona is at L.A.
He's pumped about this parlay. He doesn't even have the right teams.
Mad Bum. Well, I got him crisscrossed. Mad Bum. I'm going with John Gray and Mad Bumgarner.
Okay.
Bumgarner's still with his role. Both of those pitchers give you a chance that you should be in the game, and maybe we could steal it against a bad Dodger bullpen or a banked up San Diego Padre team. So it's a shot.
Okay.
Just put a little bit. Don't put this ain't a bridge jumper, okay? It plays plus 770. But again, Colorado, Arizona, worth a little sweat late tonight. So we got dogs everywhere and Colucci's Boston Bruins.
I'm in on the parlay, and I'm going to tell Erica that it was your idea, and that if we lose, it's all your fault.
Hey, 8-1 story of my life.
What you got tonight, man?
Man, we got a lot of things. Hey, I kind of missed it, Matt, but because I'm ready for this regular season to get over in the NBA and get started the postseason, there were some major betting opportunities. We'll look back and kind of put a mental note for next year. Henry Hayes also sets the table for the play-ins. And also, this is kind of when pro sports leagues start talking about integrity fees, well, I'll tell you what, their sports gambling bookmaking partners, they're not happy with the lack of integrity this past weekend in the NBA. We preview the play-in and the playoffs also with Henry. Brady Cannon from Beeson. He'll recap Sam Burns weekend, and also we'll have PGA experts and picks every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, leading into the PGA this weekend in South Carolina. Rewind it, and also Troy Macker from Bet Rivers recapping the weekend. See how bloody it was for them for the NBA.
All right, Otter. Thanks as always. Have a great show.
Okay, buddy. Thank you, man.
We'll see you. Game Time with Jimmy Out follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. Or, of course, the Game Time with Jimmy Out Facebook page. Something else we're going to follow. Brody Miller tweeted this out a bit ago. The Louisiana NIL law apparently isn't going to go into effect until the university's management board adopt individual NIL policies. So now each of the schools in the state have to apparently enact their own policies. So that's been stunted a little bit here. We'll follow that along. It's just massively important that the NIL stuff state by state, if the NCAA doesn't get something done by July 1, that state by state they do get something enacted, because you don't want to be left behind for very obvious reasons. If recruits in Florida can get paid and recruits in Louisiana can't, or players can't, then obviously that's going to be a major recruiting disadvantage for states that don't have NIL rules. All right, Muse, what did you learn today?
Marv Albert's a perv.
Paul, what did you learn today?
Devin Fontenot sits in the chair, and his barber knows what to do.
Matt, what did you learn?
That you and Paul had no idea that Marv Albert was a giant perv.
Kinky one, too.
Big time. Y'all have a great night. If you miss anything, AFR On Demand. We'll see you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, we remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. WilliamsonEYE.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Went to Houston this weekend. Can I tell you how nice it is to be able to travel and not have to worry about packing my contact case? my contact solution. The extra pair of contacts in case one gets lost or ripped or something like that. Not having to pack my glasses so when I take my contacts out at night, I can actually see something. Giving yourself the gift of sight is incredible. If you're like me and you were born genetically with awful vision, the Williamson Eye Center has an option for you to where you can see without contacts or glasses, no matter your refractive issue. Learn more at williamsoneye.com or call for that consultation at 924-2020, 924-2020, or williamsoneye.com.